Hi, Summer. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
How's it going? Did you have a good day at school?
yeah. Were we not supposed to meet at 4?
Oh, hmm. Oh, I'm sorry. For some reason I had it down for 4:30 today. So that must have been my mistake. I'm so sorry
That's
about
okay.
that. I'm sorry. I'll double check that I've got that for next time. So I
Okay.
don't know what happened there because I had 4:30 on my calendar. I apologize.
It's
So
all
I'll,
right.
I'll double check and make sure that I've got it on there for 4 for next time. I'm so sorry about that.
It's okay.
Um, how uh how is your voice feeling? And what are some reflections on what we worked on last time?
It's feeling all right, but I enjoyed how well I better understood that you can shift characters based on the tone instead of just like how you read it.
Ah, yes. Okay, yes. So the vocal tone. So things like the brightness, the warmth, the tenderness, the harshness, the grittiness, the sharpness, um, the bite to the sound, those kind of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Um, I think that can add a lot to the character development and, how that is communicating and landing. So yeah, I think it's definitely it's definitely fun to explore those tonal shifts. Yeah, for
Mhm.
sure. What would you say, kind of thinking about what we've been doing and then moving forward, what do you think would be a good priority for today, a main key focus?
Maybe assuming, like, because you've said before that we don't always get to hear what the other person's going to sound like when they voice
Hmm.
their character line. So maybe
Right.
assuming how it'll sound and going off of
Yes.
that.
Yeah, sometimes we have to make choices about what we think, would be happening in the scene and how we would deliver based on what we know. Sometimes they're not there with us. We might be actively in a studio with a director, but not have the other actor there in the room with us. Sometimes they might have us record it independently at home with just some directing notes, and then you'll go back and forth and they'll have you do little tweaks. Sometimes you'll do a live directed session virtually where you'll be online in a different location, but then the director will meet with you on a video chat like this, and then they'll talk you through things. So it can really vary depending on the situation and the setup and where the actors live, that kind of thing. So it just kind of depends on the project. So there are a lot of ways that it could go. I think it definitely is nice when you can all be in the same studio and have your own microphones and vocal booths, and you can hear each other on the headset and you can react, but that doesn't always happen. So so it's good to be prepared for whatever instance you might run into. Um, so working on scenes with multiple characters, but where you have to make choices about how you think you would deliver the line based on just context and what you're given. I think that's a great idea to work on developing. Um, so I know we've been working on scenes that have pretty contrasting characters. I'm curious, have you been listening to anything, watching anything that, playing any games or anything with characters that have kind of resonated with you, certain genres?
Um, Not really. I haven't really been watching many shows lately.
Okay. All right. Let's just see what we can come up with. Um, Something different than we've done the last few weeks. Hmm. Well, this one's kind of fun. It's kind of the grumpy sunshine pair up. let's see. I think it's a little long, so I'm gonna put it in a document that I'll upload because it's not gonna let me give you the whole thing, I don't think. Um, all right. And then we can take a look. So it's a firefly who is very optimistic and a grumpy rock who secretly wants to be able to go on adventures, but who, is a rock, so he's kind of stuck.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty, so I'm gonna upload that now. Had to get it saved first. Alrighty. There it is. Okay. Alrighty. So that should upload to you now. So go ahead and take a look at it. I feel like this has kind of a, like a kid's cartoon movie kind of a feel to it. Um, like watching a movie like Ants or like a Disney Pixar movie kind of a vibe or Zootopia, that kind of thing. So go ahead and just take a read through first, just kind of processing.
Okay.
Awesome. So what do we find here? What are some things that kind of stand out to you? What do you think is your target audience? Kind of the genre, the flavor that we're going for.
I think this is like a courage kind of story. Like
Okay.
be open to doing things that you're not comfortable with, and you might find something
Mm-hmm.
you like. And I think Grum is in denial about the fact that they enjoyed the change in position.
Yeah. Yeah. So with that, um, if if you were going to say maybe the relationship of the two characters, how they know each other, what their relationship is, what do you think that would be?
I think the Fireflies visited the rock like more than once in the
Okay.
past.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so then what do you think is the goal of each character here? What do each of them want or need in this moment?
I think each of the characters, like both of them want to explore, but one wants like the ability to do it without shame, and the other one just wants to find what's out there.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, nice. Um, and so, um, most likely, if you were cast, um, which one do you feel like you would probably be cast as? Like, what do you think would be what the casting director would see you as?
Lumi.
Okay. All right. So, let's have you read for Lumi. And so we're going to try this where you don't have a partner, where you have to decide all of it for yourself. So Let's just take the first page because it is a little bit long. Let's just do that first page first. And I want you to try just reading both characters out loud just in your regular voice for first page only.
Okay. You ever wonder what's beyond the hill? Rocks don't wonder. We sit, we erode. That's the job. But what if there's something amazing out there? Like a glowing forest or a lake that sings. Lakes don't sing. You don't know that. You've never left the spot because I'm a rock. Details, important details. Okay, but hypothetically, if you could roll, would you? No, that was too fast. You didn't even think about it. I thought about it once. Terrible idea. What happened? I leaned slightly to the left during a rainstorm. That's it. I saw more ground. And it was different ground. Different good or different scary? Both. That's called adventure. That's called unnecessary.
Nice. All right. So, um, what is something that stood out to you that you were like, okay, um, this feels like an important moment. Was there a moment that seemed like a really defining moment?
Grum seems like very dismissive, but to the like when
Yeah.
it explains that the different ground was both scary and exciting, it
Mm.
seemed like a moment of like vulnerability, sort of.
Yeah, yeah, awesome, good. And then tell me, what do you feel like is maybe the number one thing that you want to do if we go through and we try to create your character's voice? What do you kind of envision as the number one most important thing about this character, and bringing out this character's individuality through their voice?
Sorry?
For Lumi, what do you feel like are some of her defining characteristics, and how do we showcase those through the voice that we create for her?
Oh, I feel like she's very energetic and
Yeah.
again, it says optimistic, so like bright kind
Yeah.
of thing, as in
Hmm.
like Lumi, like a glowing firefly would be excited and
Yeah. Definitely, definitely. Good. So let's go ahead and try just Lumi's lines now that you know what's going to be happening and where the scene is going. Um, and let's have you go ahead and try. Um, Just doing Lumi's lines, and let's work on creating that character voice.
okay. You ever wonder what's beyond the hill? Well, what if there's something amazing out there? Like a glowing forest or a lake that sings? You don't know that. You've never left this spot. Details. Okay, but hypothetically, if you could roll, would you? That was too fast. You didn't even think about it. What happened? That's it. And different good or different scary? That's called adventure.
Nice. Okay, good. So what do you think Lumi is trying to get out of this other character? So, um, thinking about their relationship with Grum, um, what is she trying to like get get from him or get him to do? Um, uh, you know, Is she just trying to get him to be her friend? Does she want him to go on an adventure with her? Um, is she trying to cheer him up because he's bringing her down? Like, what do you think is she trying to get out of him?
I think she's trying to convince him to admit the fact that he's just as curious as her of what's out there.
Okay, yeah, that's a cool one. Yeah. Do you feel like they're friends? Do you feel like they're neighbors? Do you feel like they've just met?
I feel like they've known each other for a while, which is why she's like asking so many questions about his experiences.
Sure, yeah. And maybe he is older and wiser or something, and she feels like he can give her insights, or she's like, you've had a long life. Like, I want to hear about it. Fireflies don't live as long as rocks. Um, so getting him to open up a little bit more, like she's like, maybe there's a geode inside that crusty exterior, you know, some gems in there. Um, and so she wants him to open up and share um, and to learn more about him then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So then. So we're going to try to coax it out of him. We're going to try to get him to open up. All right. So let's try that again.
Okay. You ever wonder what's beyond the hill? But what if there's something amazing out there? Like a glowing forest or a lake that sings? You don't know that. You've never left this spot. Details. Okay, but hypothetically, if you could roll, would you? That was too fast. You didn't even think about it. What happened? That's it? And different good or different scary? That's called adventure.
Nice. Nice. Good. So then, um, so with this character voice, what are some of the things that you like that you're doing as far as like higher pitched, lower pitch, faster pace, slower pace, some of the patterns with the vocals. What are you liking about how you're creating that voice?
I like the higher pitch because it seems more energetic
Yeah,
and more
I
like
agree with that.
cheesy.
Definitely, it
Also,
sounds more youthful, more energetic, like you were saying. I think that higher energy gives a more youthful feel. Um, and like a little more pep. She has kind of a playful quality that's coming out, which I'm really liking. Other things you maybe can think of that really kind of like bring out that unique character.
uh, I'm sorry, I can't think of
Oh, it's
anything.
okay. Yeah. Um, I think she has a brighter kind of vocal tone, at moments, leaning into like almost a hint of nasality, which I think is actually working really beautifully. I think that it has like a kind of a bouncy flow to it at times, but then also kind of a dreamy quality at other times. Um, I like the kind of like laughter quality you gave to a couple of the lines. Like she's having fun. I think that's really, really a good quality. So a lot of things I'm really enjoying about it. Is there anything that you feel like you would want to add or change about this character voice, or are you feeling really good about this character voice?
I think it suits her really well.
I do too. I do too. I think it's working really beautifully. So I'm gonna send. I feel like I'm really liking what you're doing with it, and
Okay.
each line has a nice intention to it. If you ever are doing it and you feel like you don't have a good like action and intention with the line, you're like, I'm not sure what to do with it. Try giving yourself this as if. So it's like as if they said the line before like this. So it's as if they just slapped me with their words, or it's
Mm.
as if they just turned and started walking away and I have to like grab them and bring them back to me. Or it's as if they said it in a very flirtatious manner, and so give yourself like what you think their delivery might have been like and then react to that. It's as if they smiled at me, or it's as if they nodded, like
Mhm.
they understand. Um, so give yourself something to react to. You can also try giving yourself an action. So I am saying this as if I am scolding them. I'm saying this as if I am cheering them on. I'm saying this as if I'm begging them for this, right? And that can be something that helps. But I feel like you had a really nice approach to that. So I uploaded one for an elf and a dwarf and this young fighter and this like older mysterious swordsman person. So I want you to go ahead and grab those two, take just a glance at that first page, and then pick one of those two that we'll take a look at as well.
Okay. I think I like the elf and dwarf.
Okay, yeah, I think that's a really fun one. I like that one too. All right, awesome. So let's go ahead and take a look there at our elf and dwarf one. Um, So Kale and Bruna. So we have a cocky half elf rogue with a flair for theatrics and a battle-hardened dwarf cleric who's perpetually unimpressed. All right, so I feel like you could do either of these and they'd be pretty contrasting from the last scene, but which character I feel like you could they don't really have like a particular gender that they ascribe to either one, like you could be either one. So, which one would you like to take a look at?
Uh, Kyle, think you pronounce.
Okay, yeah. So let's try this time where I'm going to have you not read the other character. I'm just going to have you read your lines. So take just the first line for your character, and I want you to just read that first line, just that first line.
Okay. Tell me again why we didn't just take the front door.
Yeah, so it's a little um, like you sound kind of like annoyed and a little like ugh, like
Hmm.
maybe you guys, took a really complicated way to get in, and you're like, ugh, it would have been so much easier to just walk in.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, already got a good clear attitude or take there. So what do you think is your like do you like the voice that you created there? Do you like the attitude there? Do you want to try a couple different takes? Why don't we try three takes of each line? So try two other ways that you could possibly read that line.
Tell me again why we didn't just take the front door. Tell me again why we didn't just take the front door.
Good, awesome. Yeah. So, one of the things that I like to do sometimes when maybe I'm recording separately and then sending recordings to people who have given me some, a little bit of advice on what they want, but they're not right there with me. Um, I'll sometimes do that where I'll try a few different takes and then I'll give them options. And then they'll be like, oh, I loved the second take, or oh, that third take was perfect, or oh, your first instinct, right on. Or they're like,
Mhm.
oh, I really like the second one, but let's tweak it like this. So it gives them a little more options. And then, two, let's say the other actor, makes choices, they can pick and pull what they feel like is going to work best with responding to that other actor. So let's try the next line, the visionary one.
Okay. Wait, the visionary? Ah, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Your next line, your next
Okay.
character line.
Ah, a visionary, truly. Ah, a visionary, truly. Ah, a visionary, truly.
Yeah, so it's a little bit shorter one, but we can definitely put some attitude and, perspective into it. Let's go ahead and jump to your next line then and try a few different takes.
Perspective, Brenna. From here, I can really see the problem. Perspective, Brenna. From here, I can really see the problem. Perspective, Brenna. From here, I can really see the problem.
Yeah, so let's try that one like you're scolding Bruna.
Okay. Perspective, Brenna. From here, I can really see the problem.
Good. And then let's try it like you're like patting Bruna on the head, like you poor thing.
Perspective, Brenna. From here, I can really see the problem.
Yeah. So they might give you little feedback, things like that too, where they'll be like, try it like this, try it like that. So having that ability to be flexible is really helpful. Let's try um um let's try your next line. You're definitely the more like lighthearted of the two. Bruna is very serious.
Hmm. The rope is character building. The rope is character building. The rope is character building.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, you're like, it's fine. We'll get through this. Yeah. You're like, let's look on the bright side. I feel like in Vox Machina, they have the bard character. And he's very like that, where he's like, let's look at it this way. It'll be fine. And he's more like a show person and stuff. He has a little bit of that kind of character. Great. So let's go to to your next line, the gravity line.
I trust gravity. It's consistent. I trust gravity. It's consistent. I trust gravity. It's consistent.
Yeah, nice. Awesome. So yeah, it's let's go ahead and try go ahead and just kind of make your way through and just trying some different things for the rest of that page for the last half of your lines there. And they're all like pretty short, but they're quippy, like they're witty. It's
Mhm.
banter back and forth.
So do the lines, but multiple times for each one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead and try the three different takes, just a few different angles on each.
Okay. Wait, should I read a chunk of it in one angle and then redo it, but in another one?
Um, yeah, yeah, exactly.
Okay. My plans are bold. Correction, my plans are why we're in a secret entrance. That's just the ambiance. There is a hidden passage, a suspicious wall, suspiciously wet. My plans are bold. Correction, my plans are why we're in a secret entrance. That's just the ambiance. There is a hidden passage, a suspicious wall, suspiciously wet.
Nice. Yeah. So what are some of the like attitudes or, with that you got to explore a lot of particular approaches. So what would you say is your favorite for this particular character? Do you like them being a little more like ugh, a little more serious, a little bit more overly dramatic, a little more playful, more
I like
teasing?
I like the fact that I made them like even though they're more lighthearted than Bruna, they're still like snippy.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like more lighthearted, but it definitely is that bantery quality where it's kind of like zingers, like poking a little bit, like teasing each other, nipping at each
Mhm.
other, which I think is really fun. It comes across, even though they're in kind of a serious situation, I think that your character is, able to bring kind of this lighter feel to it, which is really fun. Um, so yeah, I think that we've got a lot of good options there. So that's another way that you could possibly approach it is just kind of experimenting. And then what I like to do then is maybe do like one run through with them being a little more of like the zingers, and then one where they're just very like lighthearted, playful, bubbly, like optimistic, and then one where they're a little more like, oh, this kind of sucks, but we're gonna get through it, and then I'll send that off and let them choose what they think. So let's have you do a run through of just your lines for the first page with your favorite approach to the character.
Okay. Tell me again why we didn't just take the front door. Ah, the visionary, truly. Perspective, Bruna. From here, I can really see the problem. The rope is character building. I trust gravity. It's consistent. My plans are bold. Correction, my plans are why we're in a secret entrance. That's just the ambiance. There is a hidden passage. A suspicious wall. Suspiciously wet.
Nice. Yeah, good. And then I think, when you put the other character in, it's definitely um gonna have, that back and forth more.
Hmm.
So what do you feel like are some of the things that kind of stuck with you the most from this experience?
Um, Personalities don't always have to fit how the character like reacts to people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Um, so I think that you get to play a little bit. One of the things that I think is nice about it is that you get this kind of creative freedom,
Hmm.
which is really nice. So, so yeah, I think it's just a different way to approach it. Do you kind of have a preference? Like, do you enjoy doing more of the back and forth responding off another actor more, or do you kind of like having a little more of that creative freedom to make your own choices?
I honestly don't mind either one because I find both of the dynamics pretty interesting. So like you
Yeah.
can always like guess how things are going to turn out and you have your own vision, but it's
Hmm.
like interesting to see others.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So you know, I feel like as an actor, you have to be flexible and you have to be able to adjust to whatever the, circumstance is. And so there's something that they call being director proof, which is basically regardless of what director you get and their style of working with you, collaborating with you, being
Mm.
able to be flexible and to adjust to whatever their style of directing is. And so I think, with what we just did, you're showcasing your ability to be a little bit more of like that independent thinking actor where they would be like, hey, just kind of show me your ideas. And I always actually think that's a lot of fun to get to, just be like, here are some ideas. And then, they either like them or they don't, and they come back and, you might tweak some things. Um, but then you really get to just kind of tap into your own personal instincts more. Whereas some directors are very specific and are like, okay, I want this line said like this, and make sure you say this particular word like that, and kind of rush through on this section here, but really stretch on this word. Like they'll be very particular. Um, and so you have to be able to adjust for the situation. But yeah, I think this is a really good exercise because it's something we haven't really done as much. Working on monologues is a little different because you're the one who keeps talking. Um, so, this has to keep that really active back and forth feeling, but it's just you. So it is a little bit of a challenge, a little different approach, but really nice work with it today. That was really fun. If you want to explore the other one with the like the warrior and the like older samurai or whoever,
Mhm.
the young warrior and then the older swords master. This next couple weeks, feel free to do that too, and I will make sure I've got it for 4 next time. I don't know what I did with my calendar with that, so that was totally my bad. Apologies.
It's okay.
But I'm really glad we were able to meet, and this was really productive and also very fun.
Mhm.
So stretching yourself in new ways. So I look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks, okay? All right, well, have a good evening. Bye, Summer.
Bye.